Your mic is muted.
Okay. Hi, good evening, everybody. I apologize for the break. That we experienced some technical difficulties. Okay. So, hello, my name is Michelle Samuel, and I am the host of your Startup Advisor Live. This evening, we will be talking about student entrepreneurs. And remember, you can join this evening's conversation by your Startup Advisor on YouTube and on Facebook. Use the hashtag Sarbio Fuels, hashtag student entrepreneurs, and hashtag your startup advisor when sharing the link to this evening's event. Let me begin by welcoming our guests for today. The very first guest is Miss Amber Rose Harris. She's the founder of Sarbio Fuels, 16 years old, and a fifth form student of the Leon Hess Comprehensive Secondary School. She is an extremely optimistic, often seeing the bright side of things, and passionate in everything that she does. Her strengths lie in public speaking and expressing her opinions in an open forum. She is also hardworking and very, very focused. So I would like to bring on to the stage Amber Rose.
Good night, everybody.
Awesome. So Amber Rose, how are you doing today?
I'm fine, thank you.
You're fine. Okay. So, Amber Rose, I'm just going to be giving you a bit of chit chat, as we, talk for now. Um, so, I sort of met you, I think, when you were in the third form, I believe. The
Yeah.
third form. Yeah, that's when we first, crossed paths. And I was really intrigued by how enthusiastic you were about participating in, then at the time, it was the Next Big Inventor competition. But we'll delve into that, a little later into our session. So, Amber Rose, I just want you to just share with us how you feel about this evening, and and of course we can take it from there.
I'm very excited to be here. I'm very grateful for the opportunity, so thank you very much. It's interesting. Well, it will be an interesting experience to just hear what people have to say about their ideas about our company so that we can
Mhm.
know how to move forward, basically.
Excellent, and of course we can't wait to hear much more from you. So, Amber Rose, I'm going to put you to the back a little for a few minutes just to hang out, and I'm going to bring forth our second speaker. So we'll be hearing from Amber Rose a little later, but now we're going to be talking about our second person. So our second guest is Miss Dania Gifford. She's the co-founder of Sarbio Fuels. She's 16 years old and a student of the Thomas Telford University Technical College in England. She is strong-willed, optimistic, and can come up with multiple creative ideas on the spot. Now, I think that's very, very interesting, which helps with any problems that she encounters along her journey. She's a strong team player, trying her best to ensure that what needs to be done is completed. So I would like to join me on stage is Miss Dania. Hi, Dania. How are you doing this evening? You're muted. There we go.
Sorry about that. Yeah.
So how are you doing
I'm
this evening, Dania?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Awesome, awesome. So Dania, you're all the way, in England. Can you tell us what time it is over there?
It's currently 11:08 p.m.
11:08. Oh my gosh. Am I keeping you from your Okay, so I want to thank you so much, for taking the time out, to sit with us in this discussion and this interview. I'm hoping that your parents are nearby, listening, watching, and
Yeah.
supporting you. And I want to thank them immensely for allowing you to be on our show this evening. So, Dania, can you let people know how you're feeling right now? And, are you excited about tonight?
Yes, I am. I was a bit nervous at first, but I'm very excited to know how it's going to turn out and
Mhm.
how everyone is going to react. So that is very exciting for me.
Okay, I could definitely understand that. Okay, so Dania, I'm going to send you to the backstage for just a little while. I'm going to bring you back. So, ladies and gentlemen, you have had a little preview of who our guest speakers are today. Now, we have the chat space open on YouTube and on Facebook. Please utilize the chat in order to post your comments, ask your questions, and of course, to share your links and resources. Okay? Now, I also would like to let you know that if you have an interest in being on stage with us here, just let us know, type in the comment, and I will share the link with you so that you can join us backstage. And then you will get the opportunity to come on stage with us and, of course, engage with our speakers this evening. Now, thank you so much for joining me. Now, as I wait for our viewers to, of course, send questions and post comments, I would like to kick off our discussion and bring our ladies back on board. So, okay, so welcome back, ladies. And I just want to go, straight into, our topic, for this evening. So, this evening, our episode is on student entrepreneurs. So let's start out with this first question. What does student entrepreneurship mean to you? Or what is a student entrepreneur in terms of what you know? So Amber Rose, let's start with you.
I think it would be any students who decides to basically go into business, basically.
Okay, so any student who wants to go into business. So can it be like any business, anything at all that they want to do?
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay. And what about you, Dania? Same question. What does student entrepreneur mean to you? What does that mean in your context?
I feel like student entrepreneurship means in my content is a student who has an idea and wants to take that idea and run with it, express themselves. I feel like turning that into a business and sharing it with other people. I think that's what it means.
Awesome. Awesome. Excellent. Excellent answer there, Dania.
Thank
Now,
you.
I want to really allow people to know who you are. So, we're going to talk a little bit about you, a little backstory, because, of course, we want to talk about why you're here this evening, but we want to first find out who you are as a person. So I'm going to start out with you, Amber Rose. I want to find out from you. I want the people, our audience and viewers to know who you are, as an individual. Let us know the school that you attend. Let us know the type of student that you are, the subjects, that you are studying and why you chose those subjects. Can you give us an idea as to what that is?
Okay, so I'm a fifth form student of the Leonhard Comprehensive Secondary School. I do the subjects that I do, math, English, French, because I feel like I just love my languages basically. I do
Mm-hmm.
theater arts because I like to express myself. FNN, because I really enjoy cooking and that kind of stuff. I do biology, social studies, and IT.
Wow. So biology, social studies, IT, and cooking. So what would you say is your favorite subject? What subject would you say is something that calls to you that you would see, would have an impact in your future growing up?
I'd say FNN, honestly.
FNN. So for those of you who don't know what FNN is, can you please let them know what is FNN?
Food and nutrition,
Food and nutrition. So basically you're a chef in the making.
something like that.
Something like that. Awesome. Okay, so Amber Rose, tell me, what got you interested into entrepreneurship? When did you first hear about this, and how did you get started into it?
Well, I did business subjects, but it was never really something that I was interested in until I did the next big inventor competition. And then I just kept on going. I did the entrepreneurship World Cup and now the Diamond Challenge. It's just, I don't, I don't want to say something that I was like, interested in because I really wasn't, but I just felt like I was called to it because I just kept
Mhm.
going and going and going.
Okay, you just felt called to it. Wow. Okay, excellent. So I have a question here, in the chat. Persons are typing in their questions, but we'll get to that in a little while. We just want to, get to understand who Amber Rose is before we come to your questions. So please keep those questions coming, post them there, and as soon as the time comes, I will just pull them up onto the screen and allow our young ladies to respond. So, um, tell me, Amber Rose, can you explain to me, um, what do you how do you see yourself in the entrepreneurship, space? Do you see yourself, just going full long into it? I want to be a business owner, I want to run a business. Is that what you see for yourself, or do you see, you know doing something innovative like a side thing or a hobby? How do you see entrepreneurship fitting into your life?
It's something that I would really love to do full time, own my own business, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, businesses, because it's not just, I would not limit myself to just one, but it's really something that I would enjoy doing and that I would really want to do.
Wow, that is really great. That is really great. So I'm just going to thank you so much for answering those questions, Amber Rose. Of course, we're going to come back to you. I just want to give, of course, our other speaker, Dania, a moment, so that we can find out a little bit more about her. So, Dania, I mean, the spotlight is now on you, and I want to find out from you. Can you let us know what subjects are you doing? The school that you attend, it's in England. Tell us why you chose those subjects that you're currently doing.
Okay, well, have a good amount of subjects that I'm doing. I do math, English,
Mm-hmm.
English literature, um, physics, chemistry, biology, um, business as a subject, product design,
Wow.
construction in both departments, as in construction in the built environment and design in the built environment, which is like two different things. And yeah, these are all the subjects that I do.
Wow, that is a lot. You are not lying. That is a lot. So,
Yeah.
can let's delve into this a little bit. Can you explain as to why you chose those subjects?
Some of them are compulsory, which I don't
Mm.
mind doing. It's really good to have knowledge of other subjects and aspects, and I really like that. For business, I chose business because I really enjoy the subject and I see business as part of my life in the future.
Mm-hmm.
Product design, I chose it because I felt like that's something that I could go into and something I could experience and explore. Um, Along with construction, it's what I want to go into in the future as
Wow,
well.
construction. I would not have, thought that that would have been a subject you would have been studying. But does that mean that you had some sort of influence from your parents in terms of the construction part of it, or is that something that you have an interest in?
Yes, both business as entrepreneurship and construction is, I should say, is an influence on
Mm-hmm.
my parents and background, but I felt like I also discovered it on my own as I
Mm-hmm.
progressed into wanting to do it and enjoy that as a subject and career.
Okay, excellent, excellent. And what made you, get interested in the entrepreneurship aspect of it? Because we heard from Amber Rose and what sparked her interest, but what about you? How did you get, into this whole thing of student entrepreneurship?
Um, I would definitely say, like I mentioned before, my parents as well as seeing other people and their success stories and watching it on TV and what has been going on around us every day. So I feel like as I see it, I'm immediately inspired and wanting to do it as well.
Wow, excellent. And I know that you have the support of your mom, right? Your mom's name is Keisha. And
Yes.
yeah, so she's backstage. So we will be bringing her on, just so that we can get to hear from her and her influence in all of what is going on, right now. So I'm just going to bring her on, um, really quickly so that she can, give us a little insight as to her influence and her support of you and what you're doing right now. Okay, so I'm just going to bring on Keisha. Keisha, can you hear me? Keisha, can you hear me? Hi, Keisha, can you hear me? Okay, it doesn't seem that she's able to hear. So we'll try to get her sorted out and then we'll come back to her. But thank you so much, Dania, for sharing that with us. And of course, I mean, a little bit of introduction into your life and, of course, what it is that you're doing. So, what we're going to do right now, we're going to take just a really, really, really brief break. And what I'm going to do is that I'm going to show you guys, I'm going to show everybody the venture or should I say, the support system that is really helping to really spearhead entrepreneurship and innovation currently in St. Lucia. So, um, just take a break. We'll be right back after these messages. All right, and now we're back. All right, ladies, so we are going to be, delving into deeper discussion about why it is that you're here. Okay, so of course, as all of you know, you're here for a reason. You participated, or should I say, you entered a competition. And this competition is known globally. However, it is not very well known in St. Lucia. Okay, so we are just going to talk a little bit about this competition. And of course, we would like you to share with everybody what the experience is like and what led you, to this competition. So I want to just start out by asking this question, like, what's your vision? Now, when I say vision, I mean, what do you see Sarbio Fuels doing? Why, does Sarbio Fuels exist? So either of you can take that question.
Okay.
What's your
So,
vision?
basically, we hope in the future to try our best to reduce climate change, basically reduce the rate of global warming, because we know that fossil fuels release harmful emissions that can affect the ozone layer. So and also in addition to that, we hope to speaking of our own home, the St. Lucia and the Caribbean at large, to basically improve the lives of our fishermen and people in the tourism sector. So basically hotel owners,
Mm-hmm.
beachfront proprietors, to basically just improve their lives by just making use of the sediment accumulating on the shores. Because we know that this seaweed can have a very detrimental effect on their livelihood when it comes in. So basically, it's just to just try to help them out.
Okay. Now you went straight into, what it is that you're doing with your raw material. But of course, we have not really said, what it really is. So you are co-founders of Sarbio Fuels, right? So I want you to explain to us what really is Sarbio Fuels. Help, our viewers to understand what this really is.
Okay, so Sarbio Fuels is Basically, a company, we're still in the idea stage
Mm-hmm.
where we our mission is to improve the fishing sectors in the Caribbean by making use of the sargassum accumulating on our shores to create an eco-friendly biofuel. So it speaks for itself.
Mm-hmm.
To make use of the sargassum accumulating, well, piling up on our shores during the season. Well, since it's a seasonal plant, and we're going to use it just to create a biofuel that will basically reduce climate change.
Wow. Okay, so what you're saying is that this seaweed that we have been seeing piling up on our beaches, you actually use this to create something?
Yes,
Wow. Because I mean, everybody normally what would have happened is that persons would have said, "Oh, this is a nuisance. It has this stench. When it stays there for too long, and all of this piling up on the beaches, people can't really enjoy the beach like they used to. And of course, the tourists, they don't want to see all of this muck. I mean, we advertise and promote white, sandy, beautiful beaches. And then when they come over here, depending on the time that they arrive, there's this brownish, stinky-ish type of thing on the sand, and we see it as a detriment to our industry. But what you're saying is that it's a gold mine.
basically, yes.
Wow, I mean, like trash to treasure type of story going on here. So, um, I mean, do you who is really helping you in terms of your putting this together? Because did you just come up with this on your own, or were you influenced by someone? Why sargassum?
Well, we did the next big inventor competition, which was held at my school, and we had to use sargassum to create something, to invent something. So I did my research and I figured, why not do a biofuel? It's Yes, biofuel has been tried with stuff like corn, but because of the amounts needed to create the biofuel and because corn is used for food, there is a demand on it. So you cannot use corn like in large quantities. So
Mm-hmm.
I saw research. There is research that has been done about making the fuel out of algae. So basically, that was the research we used. We tried it, and then we basically just made our adjustments. So from the research that I have done, the videos I have watched, I have never seen anybody make the fuel out of sargassum. It's just algae, like the normal algae you find probably at the sea, in the sea or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So the next big inventor competition was where it really started, where we came up with the idea, build the foundation, and then we went up to the Entrepreneurship World Cup. We worked with people in the likes of Mr. Johan Dujo, Miss Lakeisha Cavalier. All of these people, of course yourself, Mr. Joshua Esnard, all of these people were here to give us guidance and to just help us to better our product up until this very stage now.
Wow, wow. So, you did the next big inventor competition. What year was that?
I believe it was 2018, 2019. I'm not too sure.
2018, 2019. So what you're saying is that your entrepreneurship journey began in 2018, 2019,
Yes.
and now we're in 2021, and you're still going with it
Yeah.
even after this next big inventor competition. I mean, hats off to you. I mean, normally when young students or young people take part in things, when they're done, that's it for them. Off to play, off to have a really great time. So it's really great to hear this from you. So I want to throw this question to Dania. So Dania, how did what is your knowledge of sargassum? I mean, like, how did you get involved in Sarbio Fuels?
I got involved through Amber. I was there from the start, watching and supporting her, as well as learning by her side. As it went along, and now I am. You could say that I am completely involved in it now, not only on the sidelines, but actually involved in it.
Wow. So you first started off as just rooting her, at the sidelines. Go, Amber Rose, go. And now you're involved. I mean, that is a very big jump. So in other words, you're promoted.
Yes.
You were promoted. So Amber Rose, I guess we can say thank you to you. for introducing her, to this venture. I mean, that's very commendable, even at your young age, because you both are 16, right?
Yes.
Yes.
You both are 16 years old. But Amber Rose, at the time when you started Next Big Inventor, how old were you at that time?
14 probably. I'm not
Wow,
sure.
14. My 14-year-old at the time wasn't interested in entrepreneurship. I can tell you that. They're interested in makeup and all these other things, but you went after entrepreneurship and trying to solve a problem, a real life problem that was being experienced, in the islands. And that is commendable. And yes, you mentioned Joshua Esnard of the Cudbuddy. He was the one who created the Next Big Inventor competition, and the other individual that was partnering for that venture was Algas Organics, Mr. Johanan Dujo. He had agreed to offer mentorship and advice, and of course, assisting with the collection of the raw materials for our young people. And of course, we had a question here. I'm just going to refer to our chat. We have this question from Lisa. How did you all get first started? How did you all first start? I think that's what she meant to say. So I'm hoping that the ladies answered your question, because they did give a little bit of a snippet of their journey as to where they started. Amber Rose started, a few years ago. Dania was rooting by the sidelines, and she just dived right in along with Amber Rose. But there's something that I want to bring to light, because I mean, I've been following your journey, Amber Rose, but there's a question that is there in the chat from Lisa Yard right here. What are the challenges? And the reason I'm going to highlight this question is because when you started Sarbio Fuels, it wasn't just you, your original team. You had an original team when you started, but these members are no longer with you. So what challenges did you encounter, which which made you start with the team that you had to where you are right now, that they're no longer with you? What were those challenges that you encountered?
Well, I would say it's like there was I at certain points I felt like I was the only person doing work.
Mm,
That was resolved, but then right now we have exams going on and whatnot, so it's like people wanted to just focus on exams because we
hmm.
were not sure what exactly was going on.
Okay.
So yeah, it's just basically that.
Okay, so you had exams going on, and you still had this competition going on, and persons just, they felt, well, they had to prioritize, their exams over the competition, which is understandable. I mean, you, you can't really hold that against them. It's their choice. They could not multitask. That's fine. But you, Amber Rose, you embodied multitasking in such a way that I had never seen. I mean, every time I visited the school, to check on the teams, you were always the one at it, asking questions, preempting, responses, and doing your research. You really, really, really impressed me. And every time I visited the school, the very first person I would ask, questions and get feedback from was the principal. And just to say that he's actually watching right now, this is a comment from him. Well done, Amber Rose. So Rohan Lubo, who is the principal of the Leonhard Comprehensive Secondary School, where Amber Rose attends. Thank you so much for being with us. He's very proud of you, as I am. And he always had really great things to say. I mean, yes, he did also allude to and agree to what you just said. Some persons were not as active. And of course, I think it was because of exams. But you were one of those that was really pressing forward. And that's really commendable. So, Dania, just throwing you in here. I mean, there's always this yin and yang type of thing going on. Would you say that your professional relationship is like that? Are you complete opposites? Is she totally the leader and you're just a follower, or do you sort of like balance it off with this new team?
I think we sort of balance it out because we know each other well and we know how we work, so we could definitely work around each other, give each other ideas, and work together. I think it's really good.
Excellent. Wow. So having a clear balance is really important in business, huh? Just saying. You first have to understand what your similarities are, and of course what your differences are as well, what your strengths and your weaknesses are. And where your strengths are, the other person has to, counter those with those weaknesses. You have to find that balance. At no point in time should there be any contention. I mean, persons butt heads because they disagree on a couple of things. Say for example, you're a team of two right now, right? But typically, the advice I would give to a startup is, if you have more than one person in a team, ensure you have three persons total, at least minimum, because you always need that one extra person to balance it off when you have decision making time. Because what happens when these two people butt heads and they just can't, get past this one point? What do? Having that third person can break the tie, and that person should not be somebody who's like a yes person. Yes, 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 yes. You need a maybe, no, I think so type of person. You need an analytical person, a strategic thinking person. Is this really feasible? Can we really do this? Is this really possible? So, you need a third person to sort of balance it out, especially in decision making session. I think I mentioned that to you previously, Amber Rose. So you can look into recruiting a third person. So I think I'm just going to put it out there. Um, Amber Rose, I'm going to allow you to say it, that Sarbio Fuels is recruiting, looking for a third person to sort of balance off the team to ensure that they operate effectively. So again, I'm really proud of all of what you're saying, and you have some really great words coming in there. Anita James is saying, great young people, good initiative. Thank you so very much, for these words of encouragement. Anita James, thank you so very much. We have Cassius here, Gifford. Big up my sister. I don't know if you are very familiar with him, Dania.
Yeah,
I'm seeing the last name, so I'm guessing that is a relative of yours, right?
yeah, my brother.
Your brother, awesome. So your brother is tuning in. So big up his sister, awesome. So we have also Lucian Survivor saying, great idea. So yes, this is a really great idea, but also, how do you get this thing off the ground? How will you get this thing off the ground? And we have a question here from Lucian Survivor, that follow-up question, which is, how will you fund this project? And if it is not already been funded, have you figured out how are you going to fund it? Who is going to fund it? Who is going to help you get it off the ground? Have you looked into that as yet?
Not as yet. We're still trying to put ideas together to just kind of make it better. So we have
Hmm.
not really planned on looking for funds to start as yet.
Okay, understood. So, for those of you who are, of course, watching, please, of course, you can follow us on Facebook, we're on Instagram, Twitter, and of course on LinkedIn. And you can email, of course, Mish, that is mish.n.samuel@gmail.com. That is how you can reach out to us if in case you would like to connect with Sarbio Fuels. Okay, that's just a notice, just a brief announcement. If anybody would like to connect with these young ladies and possibly provide some guidance support, if you're a potential investor, because they did just say that they have not gotten to that point of how will they fund this project. If you have any resources that you'd like to share, please reach out to us and we will connect you with them, of course through their parents, because of course, as we know, they're minors and their parents are there supporting them. So just reach out to us and we will establish that connection. So in terms of Sarbio Fuels, you started this in 2018, 2019 with Next Big Inventor competition. What what would you say is your biggest accomplishment, your biggest or greatest accomplishment with Sarbio Fuels thus far?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead, Damien.
Okay. Well, first there was the next big event project, which we made it into the finalist round. Then we had the 2020 Entrepreneurship and People's Choice World Cup, which we came in third place. And lastly but not least, going through now the 2021 financial.
Wow. Okay. Now you sort of gave us a bit of an overview of what you have been doing from where you started to where you're at right now. So let's just slow it down a bit so people understand what you ladies have been accomplishing. Let's go into it a little bit more. So Amber Rose, you participated. I mean, you started this team and you participated in Next Big Inventor competition. What came out of that competition? What did you get out of that?
Well, lots and lots of knowledge. It was basically where I built my foundation on everything I needed to know about a business. From my logos, creating my website, to the legal matters of it. It was just a lot of information. Of course, making it to the finals round, there were prizes. Of course, it was just a lot of good stuff.
A lot of good stuff. Awesome. And it was good enough for you to continue with the venture. So after Next Big Inventor, what happened next? What's the next, step? What was the next step for Sarbio Fuels?
There was the 2020 Entrepreneurship World Cup. We came third place in the Lucia finals, and we also got the People's Choice Award.
Wow, that is amazing, man. That is amazing. And I think it was noted at the time that you were the youngest participants overall in the entire competition at the national level. And you made it through 4 rounds, of judging, made it to the preliminaries, and you competed with two other individuals in the finals, two grown men going, battling for the win. And you came in third. I mean, from what I understood, you wowed the judges. They didn't see you coming. They did not expect, to see what you would have put forth. And what I saw in Next Big Inventor and what I saw in Entrepreneurship World Cup, there was a lot of growth from there. Immense, immense, immense growth. And I am so, so, so very proud of you, as is Mr. Lubon. He's saying here again, very proud, very, very proud of all of what you have accomplished. That's amazing. And you got third place and People's Choice champion. I mean, that's amazing, man. That is really amazing. And so after that experience, because that's a global competition, right? What did this do for you in terms of your academics? Did you sort of struggle with your academics, or were you able to keep that balance?
No, I didn't. It wasn't so much of a hassle for me in terms of putting information together because I mean, I had my slides from the next big event, so it was basically just to make the necessary changes from what I learned and
Hmm.
to just change it around. So there really wasn't any battle with academics to say I had to take time out to do this and do that. There wasn't anything like that.
Okay, so time management was not an issue for you.
No.
Excellent, excellent. So we're going into EWC, as it is known for short, and you placed third and you got the People's Choice Award, but then you didn't stop there. You went full steam ahead. So can you please share with us what was the next step for you after Entrepreneurship World Cup? What did you do next?
Well, after that, I kind of took a break for a couple months just to focus on school completely.
You said
Just
that
like
just like a business busy person.
just like sort of take some time for myself, and then in late January, early February, I started the Diamond Challenge. Up to now, we're still going on, basically.
Wow. And this is the cream of the crop, the culmination of what we're talking about, right? We are now coming to it, the Diamond Challenge. And I would like you to let us know what really is, the Diamond Challenge. How did you hear about it? And give us an idea as to where you are at right now in that competition.
Okay, so the Diamond Challenge is basically global entrepreneurship competition for high school students. So it is hosted by the University of Delaware. Basically, you sign up. If you make it to the pitching round, you pitch your product. Either you have the option of pitching it virtually or in person, where you actually go to the physical event. And then if you pass the pitching round, there's your semifinals and the finals. Currently, we're in the pitching round, so we got past the submission stage. We're currently in the pitching round, awaiting our results to find out if we've moved on to the semifinals.
Wow. Okay. So, I mean, we're getting some really great, meaty information right now. And of course, I don't want anybody to go away. We're getting into it. We're talking about the Diamond Challenge. But we're going to take a very, very, very brief break just for us to remind you of this particular support system that is currently available to St. Lucians. And we're so very proud to be associated with it. We'll be back after this message. All right, and welcome back, everybody. And I am here with Dania and Amber Rose of Sarbio Fuels, two 16-year-olds. 16-year-olds. I say this again, two 16-year-olds, student entrepreneurs. And they are currently participating in the Diamond Challenge global competition. And there was something that you stated. I'm gonna like say this again. You were selected to participate in the pitching round of the 2021 competition. So I read up about this thing, right? And what I saw in the article was that this was the year that they had the most entries from the time the competition started in 2014. That was what I saw when I read up on this, right? But this is the year that you ladies entered. And they said this was the toughest competition from 2014 to now. And it was such a tight decision and tight squeeze. They had over 800 applicants, and they selected 515 teams to move on to the next qualifying round. And you were one of those teams. That is amazing, man. I need to give you a clap. That is amazing. You ladies are amazing. For the competition team to state that this was such a difficult and tight competition and you were able to make it there, it means that you have a viable product, a viable idea. So what you need now is a support system to help build it. And there was a question that Mr. Luborn posted here. Have any investors showed interest as yet? In terms of investors, there are persons that are showing interest, yes. But we have to be so very particular when persons show interest, because you don't want to give them too much, right? In case they decide to run with it. We have to be so very careful when dealing with persons with ideas, but dealing with young persons with ideas. We have to protect them. We have to have that sort of, protective guard around them to ensure that they are protected, right? And of course, we have some really great, comments coming in here. Well done, Dania and Amber. Okay, so this is Gifford Construction. So in answer to the question about has anyone showed interest in investing, I will be showing this one. I'm willing to invest in them. This came from Gifford Construction. So the individual behind Gifford Construction, he's saying he's willing to invest in them. I am being forthcoming by saying he could be a she, but they're willing to invest in them. So now, one thing that I wanted to point out, and I think that we shouldn't miss here, you took this from 2014 as an idea, right? And you put it through different competitions. And in each competition, you came out somewhat on top. What progression do you think you've made? And where do you see yourself with this idea in the next few years? I mean, this is the question coming in from Lisa Yard. So at this stage, where do you see yourself in the next few years? Do you see yourself still running or going forward with Sarbio Fuels? Or do you see yourself, doing something totally different? Where do you see yourself?
I feel like in the next few years, we would be able to actually make the oil and be doing test runs and whatnot on the oil in order for us to know, okay, so this is the product and this is what we are going to be selling.
Excellent. And what about you, Amber Rose? Where do you see yourself in the next couple of years? Do you see yourself still growing Sarbio Fuels into something that is marketable, or do you see yourself doing something totally different?
Yes, I do. It's something that I will take and continue to do in the long run to eventually launch into a business. There is a lot of testing that needs to be done before we can actually put our fuel out there. So it's just a lot of testing before. Yeah.
And you said testing, and I know, of course, that's a really important part of the process. So, who is assisting you with all of this testing that you're currently doing? Who, in terms of any of those authorities, government level, any private corporations or NGOs, who is assisting you in helping you get this done at this point?
Well, currently, Mr. Johanan Dujo is assisting in getting the sargassum. We have created home at home samples, like samples on a home scale level. We tested it, but it hasn't really, to say lab testing, that has not been done as yet.
Mm-hmm. Okay, now you said this, and I want to share my screen really quickly so that we can get an idea as to what this Sarbio Fuels really is, because persons may be wondering. You spoke about sargassum seaweed. Now, persons may not know what sargassum seaweed is, but then it starts from seaweed, and then you turn it into something totally different that is usable, that is viable. So I'm going to share my screen really quickly so persons can see a sample of what you came up with. And I will permit you to, of course, just give us an idea as to how you put this sample together, right? Um, so just one moment while I get this here. So we want to have an idea as to how you went about getting, this sample put together. Because I saw a sample of this. I think it was in 2018 or so.
2019.
2019. Thank you for the correction. It was in 2019 that I saw a sample of it, and I was really amazed. I did not expect you to actually create a prototype. I did not expect that. And you gave us a brief overview of how you were able to collect, of course, through the assistance of Johan and Dujon, and put this through the process. You had some scientific words that I could not pronounce. My goodness. And you were able to explain how you came about this particular product. So I'm just going to share my screen really quickly, and I want you to take us, through this process, right? I'm going to show this. I want you to take us through. So this is your basic visual image of Sarbio Fuels. Can you explain the thought process behind this photo? What does this photo really say or speak to?
Well, we have the representation of the seaweed here and then the
Mhm.
fuel. So basically saying that we make the fuel out of the seaweed, if you
Okay,
understand.
so that was just basically a representation of what you're
Yeah.
really doing, and it's completely, safe for the environment. And
Yes.
right now, this is what we're going into. Seeing that there's a lot of pollution and climate change and everything going on, and you're trying to do something that will help the environment, which is very, very commendable. So let's take a look at this next slide. So this is your prototype, right? So this is an actual bottle or container of the fuel. So can you like walk us through how did you get to this?
Okay, so the first step was, of course, to harvest the sanasa. This, we harvested it like straight from the water because of the like the water content. Yes, we can also use the dry sargassum, but well, when it not dry, but when it washes ashore, but then the one in the water would have a greater water content, so we'll be able to get more like lipids out of it. So after that, well, if we create it on a lab level, there is the next step would be ultrasonication. But what we did was actually to blend the sargassum, like we put it in a blender, just blend it to just kind of release it. Then after we strained it, and then the next step on a lab level would have been transesterification. So basically, what we did was to create, what is it, potassium hydroxide on a home scale level. So if I remember correctly, we used burnt paper, and I think it was water, and then you just squeeze it, and the substance you get after that would be the potassium hydroxide. So we mix that, we mix it with the sargassum, and we basically just let it sit. This is the very same sample you saw in 2019. So when the time comes to test, you'll be able to tell whether or not the longer it stays, if it has a better, if it creates a better, like, if it becomes stronger.
Right. More potent and okay, I get it. I get it. So wow, I mean, thank you so much for sharing that. I mean, I still have no clue. I still have no clue what this is, and but you explain it in a way that shows that you understand what this is, and that's what's most important right now, is that you fully understand what you're doing. So Dania,
Yeah.
you came on board, and right now the two of you are doing amazing things. So for those of you who want to take a look at what Sarbio Fuels is about, you can go to their website, that is sarbiofuels.wixsite.com/home. Again, that is sarbiofuels.wixsite.com/home, and you can take a look for yourself as to what these two ladies are doing with Sarbio Fuels, which is absolutely commendable. And of course, keep your comments coming. Keep your comments coming. We have some comments here. Very good, ladies, from Lisa Yard. Thank you for your comments. And of course, yes, Mr. Lubo is agreeing with me, saying that legal support and guidance is of utmost importance moving forward. And yes, I couldn't agree with you more. So please, we're rounding up, but please utilize, the chat to post your comments and your questions. We are just about to round up. So I just have, a few more minutes left, but I want to find out from you. Um, what is your, biggest dream for Sarbio Fuels? That's what I really want to know. What is your biggest dream for Sarbio Fuels? What can we expect from you? So any of you can take that one. What's your biggest dream for Sarbio Fuels?
I
Uh,
would go ahead.
okay. I would say in order for us, go through the process of testing and actually getting the fuel and that right prototype for us to use. First off, using it throughout the island. It will be good for the fishermen. It will benefit the fishermen as they would have less sarcasm getting stuck in their propellers and whatnot. Also, it is a cheaper fuel. It is good for the earth, less um, emissions being brought out from the unhealthy gas. But I would say another huge vision and mission that we would have for cyber fuels is getting it to the point where it is international and it puts St. Lucia on the map. Um, so it wouldn't be known as just this small dot in the Caribbean, but known for, yes, it. This is the first thing that we have, and we could use it to change how people view fuels and how it's used.
Well, thank you so much for sharing that, Dina. You sound so very patriotic, in the way you just, express that. And you sound like you have a real love for Sarbio Fuels and for what you do. And I can definitely see that, you guys complement each other, the two of you, pretty well. So same thing goes to you, Amber Rose. What is your biggest dream for Sarbio Fuels?
Well, like Dania said, of course, to be able to sell our fuel not only in St. Lucia but throughout the entire world, just like she said, putting St. Lucia on the map, and of course to just improve the lives of the livelihoods of our fishermen, tourists, workers of the tourism industry, because we know that our fishermen, especially because the sargassum kills the fishes, that diminishes catch for them, and also the hotel owners, it kind of puts them at an expense when they have to hire people to clean the beaches. So basically, just to try to make their life a little bit easier.
Okay, thank you so much for sharing that. Now, our time is, quickly winding down. We are 2 minutes away from, saying goodbye to you. We had one more question here. Is the Department of Innovation working with you, Amber Rose? Um, and of course, I'm thinking that is, of course, with regards to the ministry. What it's actually the Ministry of Education, Innovation, Gender Relations, Sustainability. So that's the Ministry of Education. So, her question is, are they working to support you or are they working with you? That's her question.
No.
Okay. And we need to work on that. Yeah, we need to work on that. So we want to thank you again for your comments and your questions. Of course, if you have any final, words to say to your to the ladies, please use the comment box, the chat to do so. And of course, we will highlight it on the screen. But just to let you know that again, you can follow your startup advisor on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter, on LinkedIn. And of course, again, like I stated, if you have any resources that you'd like to share, if you'd like to get in touch with these young ladies, please reach out to me and I will facilitate a connection through their parents. Again, please reach out to me and I will facilitate a connection through their parents and we will see how you can support them and what type of support that you're looking to provide. And that is, of course, open to anybody who's listening and everybody who is listening. We have some wonderful young female student entrepreneurs who are passionate about what they're doing and they want to help, make a contribution to the environment and the economy. So again, this is really wonderful what you're doing. And for those of you who would like to, of course, research on the Diamond Challenge, you can go to Diamond Challenge. Okay, so it's on Facebook, Diamond Challenge without the E at the end. And of course, you can find out a little bit more about that competition. They are right now doing their reviews and seeing which of the pitching videos will make it to the next round. And of course, that next round is going to be the summit. So the summit, I believe, is taking place in April. Amber Rose, correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes.
Um, yeah, so it's taking place in April. So of course, please show love, please show support to our young ladies. We're talking about Sarbio Fuels. Again, Sarbio Fuels. So if you want to know a little bit more about what they're doing, again, you can visit their website, sarbiofuels.wixsite.com/home. So any final words from you, Dania? Give me one takeaway, one thing that you would like to share with the audience before we come to a close.
I'd like to say thank you for everyone who was supported, for everyone who asked questions, for everyone who looked at us in a serious manner. Thank you. People might think that we're young, but we are the youth and we are the future. So, and we have the ideas. So, thank you, once and for all. That's what I'll say.
Okay, and thank you so much, Dania. And from you, Amber Rose, your final words.
I would like to say thank you as well for the support. Everybody, for the people who have been there from the very beginning, those who are just joining our journey. I just want to thank everybody for the support, the positive comments. Without the feedback, we would not be where we are today. So I'm really thankful for that.
Well, thank you so much again for joining me, ladies. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So, Dania, thank you so much for joining us all the way from England. I know it's very late, so I'm not going to keep you any longer. Thank your parents again for allowing you to be, on this show. So have a blessed evening to you, Dania. And to you, Amber Rose, it was a pleasure speaking with you. And of course, talking about your journey and how far you have come and how far you are still about to go. So, by God's grace, we know that you can make it. You have the support with myself and my team, of course, and you still have the support of Mr. Johannan Dujour of Algas Organics, and of course, Mr. Joshua Esnad of the Cut Buddy. You still have those persons' support, but we need some more local support from our government. We need some more government ministerial support. Yes, that's what we need. And we are going to work on that. We are going to work on that. So, Ambrose, again, thank you for joining me. Have a blessed evening. And this is it. This is the end of it for this evening. Thank you so much for joining us on your Startup Advisor Live. Again, we had Sarbio Fuels. On board, we had Amber Rose of Leonhard Comprehensive Secondary School, and we had Dania Gifford of a school in England. So thank you again for joining us. You can go to our Facebook page, our Instagram page, our YouTube channel, and of course, email so that you can get, of course, contact with them. Thank you again for watching. Thank you for joining us. And of course, like I said, if you have something that you can offer these young ladies, please do not hesitate to reach out and let us know. Don't hesitate. Thank you again, and have a really great evening, everybody. Thank you.